And I'm going to start recording a minute. There we go. Now we don't want me on full screen. Nothing good can really come out of that. But what I do want to do is share the screen. And bear with me a minute. There we go. And let's get this thing up and rolling. So here's the beginning of your presentation. You're going up to get started. Tommy is moving quickly here. Now, I want to point out a couple of things. First of all, you can see at the bottom of the screen, it took you 22 seconds to transfer from the previous team's presentation to your presentation. That's excellent. You're up and ready and running. That's way stronger than what you did before. So job very well done. Notice as well with Tommy, he checked with me to make sure everything's good to go. The minute he saw the good to go signal, you can see he's about to start talking. So the impression that you have on your audience here is very strong in a positive way. As an example, there was a team that struggled a touch. It took them about a minute or so to get up and running. One of the comments on the comment sheet was that they felt that it must have taken at least 3 minutes for that presentation to get going. Well, I have evidence it was only 1 minute, but the audience thought it was up to 3 minutes. That's not going to happen here. Let's start watching what Tommy does.
Hello, my name is Tommy Yvonne, and this is Hallie Jones. And so we had a similar analysis of the text of this group, but ours more relates to the marketing. And we think the marketing team has done a great job of their ideas and kind of the avenues they're hitting, but we're focusing more on the language they can use and the buzzwords. And so you guys can at least more properly structure the ideas that hit home more specifically towards the female gender. And so with that, like previous group said, women do socialize differently based on our analysis of tannin. And with that, it's interesting to see that women typically grow up in groups, and usually smaller groups, and they actually think of one down mentality where...
Well, I wanted to stop here because Hallie was always sort of like half a woman, if you will, because of how I videotaped it. And that's me, I videotape poorly. I try to keep everything in the frame. And since now we have half a man, I thought would be a good point to point out that I do apologize for the poor videotaping. But the point that we want to make is Tommy's very natural here. He's very easygoing, easy to listen to. He projects strongly. He gets the ideas out. There's marketing. We're focusing on the communications aspect. Immediately, your audience knows what it is that you're doing and what it is that you're driving at. He introduces tannin as an important place to start. If your audience doesn't know who tannin is, and they sort of should, but if they don't, they know who in particular you're working from and are always free to ask, well, who is tannin and why should I care? Because Tommy has identified very clearly that that's who the material is based on. Excellent work. Great introduction. Gets this thing up and running. Let's watch some more.
Like the other group said, they don't want to be seen as the outsider or as being superior to the rest. And men, different to that, actually take a higher up in a hierarchy, and they want to be seen as greater with the leader group.
Notice how Tommy's...
It's very important to establish common ground.
Stop again. Notice how Tommy's hand movements are excellent there. Broader, taller. Really well done.
Marketing, and that being in West End seems that it's pretty obviously the environment and outdoor industry. This is our niche and our emphasis. And so if we can establish a common ground of those two areas, we can hopefully better include an emotional tie.
Now notice how he's communicating directly with Hallie. She's in control of the slides. A quick hand movement and on to the next slide. Excellent teamwork.
Which would be using language that better suits this group mentality that women naturally have. So in marketing material, that'd be using buzzwords like we, us, in a group collectively, instead of more of the hierarchy of me, myself, I, things like that. So combining those, we think it'd be really powerful for Western to have a marketing image of women can join here and then be part of an environmental and outdoor group to then take on that way instead of just you personally can come here and make changes. It's more the group aspect.
Again, notice the thoughtfulness, Tommy's image that he presents is of a man thinking about, person, whatever, about what they want to talk about, what matters. There's this sense of going into his feelings, into his thoughts, coming out and letting us know what's going on in his head. Slides, clean, easy to lead, easy to read, tie in exactly with what Tommy's talking about. This is absolutely marvelous work.
And so, for instance, this is a picture of the Women at Western's hike that was about
This is a great visual. Well done.
And I don't know if they really did environmental, but this is just a little example we found that it's not.
Look at the hand gestures again. He's focusing us on the picture.
And I'm going to focus on the other aspect of our
beautiful handoff.
Utilizing what we have an abundant resource of here, which is our human capital. Focusing on female faculty and administrators. We already have very powerful women on campus that can be utilized with social proof and authority. Those are two persuasion tactics that we learned about. Social proof is sort of...
Okay, I'm going to stop there. Again, Hallie moves over very nicely, very easily. There's a nice transition. She doesn't need to be reintroduced because we already know who she is. You guys introduced yourselves at the beginning. And we have a clear, here's one idea, here's a second idea. One person talking about one idea, second person talking about another idea. The audience cannot be confused here. This is extremely well done. Again, excellent slides, clean, clear, easy to read, nice visual. I like it a lot. Again, it's neat, it's sharp, and Hallie's walking us through this really nicely.
Going along with the group, following someone else's lead and authority is obviously someone that you would respect and be interested in following along with. To utilize those two, I would recommend both prospective students that come to Western having a question and answer session.
Now notice how Hallie personalizes this. I would recommend she takes ownership of the idea so the people watching know she's the person to talk about this, but she also helps the audience understand that we're confident in this idea. We know this will work. It's our recommendation. It's owned. Very well done.
With female faculty in female-oriented groups, or also
again,
focusing on current
Hallie shows a genuine
communicating
personhood, if you will.
About the female-led classrooms.
We're seeing somebody who's naturally expressing herself.
One of the most important things is future alumni and the word of mouth that they're going to spread. So making sure that the current students are aware of the female faculty and administrators and what they're doing at Western. And I found this beautiful picture on the Western website of one of our female professors here. And yeah, any questions for us?
Okay, again, Hallie's done a really good job here. This is a bit of a personal comment between she and I. You couldn't help but grinning when you mentioned the marketing department, huh? That's okay. So again, we have two people providing clear, easy to hear, lucid arguments and ideas for our guests to think about. There's no way you can get confused about what this team thinks is important. Harking back to our conversation on Wednesday, yeah, it was short, that's true, and that doesn't matter very much because what really matters is that it was concise. There was lots of foundation and meat, if you will, to work from, and if the guests wanted to know more, you guys made it really clear what it is that you wanted to do. Hallie's uptone at the end, asking for questions, was really inviting too. That's really excellent. Now, I'm going to give a critique, and this one is at Hallie, because sometimes when you bring your hand down, you're inclined to slap your leg. I know that that's a nervous thing from presenting, and we all have our things that we do when we feel nervous. When you feel nervous, try this one. It'll get your hands up to here, and it'll keep you from slapping your thigh or hitting your thigh. That snap can be a little distracting. Tommy, I'm afraid I'm not finding anything. I'll think about it and see if I can come up with something more. And Hallie, it's a minor thing, so please don't take it too personally or don't make it too worrisome. That's the word I'm trying to look at, because I know that you're a little more nervous on the stage than, let's say, Tommy is. So I'll shut up now, because otherwise we're done about talking about that. Let's keep going into the question and answer. Both team members come together. Excellent.
Potentially, I mean, it's hard to say that you should just have, sorry, Veronica, to just have a conversation with female students without it, some sort of discrimination, kind of.
So notice how Tommy is looking at his co-presenter. Here's a critique, Tommy. You've got both of your hands in your pockets. You really want to avoid it. Now, yeah, you look good, but still, it's not a good thing to do. Hands in pockets gets people thinking sometimes he's hiding something. It's a body language, body image kind of thing. Take your hands out, maybe put them in front of you. Just leave them hanging there. I know it's hard. It's extremely difficult when somebody else is talking, going, whoa, what should I do with my hands? Putting them in your pocket, alas, is not absolutely the best thing.
Tinging it. So I think men should be involved, but I do know one of the things I didn't realize before I came to Western was how many female faculty and administrators there were, and how much of an impact they would have on my
Look how
education
thoughtful
over the long run.
Hallie
So
looks. Natural.
I thought that it would potentially be beneficial.
Okay, again, the person presenting, in this case Hallie, is really connected with the audience. She cares. The audience is got to be engaged with that person who's standing there, excuse me, talking with them, trying to provide them with feedback, thoughtful feedback that she's genuinely concerned about. Notice again the body language that we get. Hallie looks down, which indicates that she's going into her thoughts and feelings and trying to get a sense of what matters. We're getting a genuine answer here from somebody who really cares. All right, now let me get this down. And where's my thing? I'm going to stop sharing the whole screen. Now you're stuck with me again. Talking head back on the full screen. This is a great presentation. You guys did an excellent job. You have every reason to be really proud of it. I'm really proud of how well you guys did. You were clear, you were lucid, you were easy to understand. Your body language, the images that you presented, those things were really easy to take, if you will. The audience had to feel engaged, and I know that they did. I was there. So let's move forward a little bit. The grade on this out of 50 is going to be, boy, I got to give you guys the full grades. I really can't see anything that I should take grades away from. This time through, we looked at the presentation itself. How well did you present? Next time through, we're going to take a step back a little further, and we're going to look at content. For the final exam, I'm going to be more worried about, did you understand the material in the textbook? We're going to look at the last 5 chapters of the book for your final presentation. You, in fact, with this one, demonstrated strong knowledge, so you're very much on the right track. But my biggest concern with this presentation was, how well did you present? How much have you grown? And as presenters, as a team, you've grown an incredible amount, and you did a really, really excellent job. Bye, y'all.